Innovation is the product of three basic principles, I believe. The first of which is simplicity and focus. Simplicity is its own reward. I believe you can add value by removing steps from impulse to action. If you think about it, Twitter is simply the distillation of that process of publishing online. We had blogs, we had Facebook, we had Friendster, if you remember that. And then we had Twitter, and it's just that much simpler. The second condition required for innovation, I believe, is constraint. By this I mean the constraint of resources, of time, personnel. Constraints enable creativity. They inspire trust. Choose the right constraints, and you'll eliminate uncertainty while empowering choice. Think of the menu at a restaurant. And that moment when you look at that menu and you think about what you want to order, it takes you about 10 minutes to look at that menu. And then go to a fast food restaurant and look at that menu and realize how much more succinct it is. For a reason, they want you in, they want you out. Eliminating choice is a big factor in innovation. Choose the right constraints and you are empowering yourself. Choose the wrong constraints and you are limiting choice too much, or limiting it in the wrong direction. Those constraints, they're so critical to innovation. Lastly, the sorry truth about innovators is that we are a lonely bunch. What one person may see as a problem, being in an area of the world that's isolated, or a part of the country that's remote or unpopulated, others see as an opportunity to focus without distraction. Think of that vacation away from everything, where you can just relax and experience life. Innovation is 10% great ideas and 90% execution on those great ideas. Colombia has a huge advantage here. You are known throughout the world as a country of hardworking and dedicated people, dedicated to each other, dedicated to great ideas, dedicated to moving forward, dedicated to that community. Simply stay focused, and you will succeed. Twitter's innovation story begins in San Francisco, where I live and work. There's the wings, flying over people to get rich. Before Twitter, 14 original creators worked at a podcasting company in 2005. This is how we started each day. There's Jack in the front. Look at his pose, standing so confident. Right there. There's Florian, our German contractor, the person with the keys to our open source system. And then, in a mirror pose, right, here's our engineer Jack, and then our designer Red, in the opposite pose, if I'm not curious. We see Tim leading the meeting. There's Noah observing, our lead of engineering. Tony. There's Biz Stone. I think you may know him. And you'll understand the culture of our company when you learn that our lead engineer is a person named Ravel, and he's sitting during a standing meeting. If you want to keep your meeting short, make sure everyone stands up. It's a good trick. I'm not in the picture because I took this photograph. I was the head of quality, meaning that I got to test it before the user did. I got to break it. I'm very good at breaking things. We were the finest failure I ever witnessed. A podcasting company with fewer and fewer users. Raise your hand if you've ever used podcasts or listened to a podcast. Okay, all right. That's about the ratio of people in the world that were using podcasting back then. Our problem was we didn't have enough growth. You know, I think one of the things that distinguishes Silicon Valley from other places in the world is our appreciation and tolerance of failure, or at least the inability to immediately execute. It was that dedication that marked this team of 14 people that kept us together. Our company was on that brink of failure when we had a brainstorm. We call it a hackathon. Raise your hand if you've heard this word before, hackathon. I'll define it for you. It's simply an idea contest. This is a concept I'd love to share with you. I'd like you to take back with you. This concept of the meritocracy, where the best ideas rule. We had an idea contest. And yes, Twitter was a side project, born of desperation. With the pressure of competition from Apple and other heavyweights in the podcasting space, we weren't growing fast enough. We had to reinvent ourselves. We broke up into teams. Jack and I formed one small team with Florian. And I brought us to the top of this children's slide in San Francisco. I thought it would be fun and creative to bring them to a place where children love to play. That's where Jack first hinted as his idea. He said, I want it to be so simple, you don't even think about it. You just write. Arguably, people don't think about it. Maybe that's something to be considered. Here's Jack's original sketch from 2001. Something he drew so many years before joining us, kept in his back pocket, waiting for that moment when he could share it with the people that he trusted. It looks familiar. It's so simple. Here's this single input field, one button. The ability to perhaps find your friends. And a very small sidebar, that's it. Here's what we built in 3 weeks. Looks familiar. That one field, that one button, and the community. You can see brothers and sisters of our founders. There's Crystal, our support engineer. Founder, my wife, Meredith. Just talking about our day, trying to figure out what to do with this thing. What is it good for? Note the shortened form of the word Twitter. That's an artifact of the original intent, which was to operate primarily via text messaging, short code. 5 characters of a short code. We used it to connect with each other outside of the office. And it was clear to me from day one that this social network was less about the content that you just saw, and more about the human connection. People writing that, people seeing